We're really looking forward to Saturday, anticipating that we have a sellout crowd, and it's going to be a great atmosphere for college basketball.
Questions here in person?
Coach, what is it about this rivalry that brings the crowd out here and draws such excitement here in South Bend?
We've been drawing great crowds all year. We had a sellout crowd for our Longwood game before Christmas, 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. Our fans are just really behind our program. So I think the electricity will be up a little bit higher for this game because it's 2 versus 3, and it's going to be just such an exciting game for national TV.
Any surprises you were expecting?
No, so far everything's gone as we planned. We were fortunate to come out of Seton Hall with a win and stay healthy, and now we go into practice and start to prepare.
Talk a little bit about the rest of the season. What does it look like for you?
We're doing such a good job taking it one game at a time. I think it's been really, really good for this team to mature in that way so that they don't look ahead. I think it's something that we've been pretty good at in the past with our leadership, and this year's group has really learned how to do that. I think when you start looking ahead, you lose your focus, and the Big East is so tough. There's so many good games down the road that it's difficult. So we were able to really focus on Seton Hall without trying to peek ahead to Saturday.
You're talking about leadership. Talk a little bit about what kind of leadership you're expecting out of your players this year. Who's going to step up?
I think Brittany Mallory and Devereaux Peters and Natalie Novosel have all been doing a really good job of leading this team. They're all very different personalities. I think you have the passion and emotion from Devereaux. You've got Brittany's smart and kind of the glue to the team, keeping everybody together. She's kind of the mom of the team. And Natalie Novosel has the respect of being such a good player. So I think that the three of them complement each other really well.
Coach, just talk about the emergence of Katie McBride and what she brings to your lineup.
I forget that she's only a sophomore. My expectation for her is so high, and I really have. I know that she's so talented and capable of doing so many things. And on this team, when you have Skylar and Natalie doing so much, she takes a back seat occasionally to them, and I think she's capable of really leading the team on a lot of different levels, offensively and defensively. But just so happy with her play. She's really doing everything I wanted her to do. She's got the versatility to play the 4. She can bring the ball up and handle the ball at the point. She can do a lot of things in between. She's worked on her 3-point shot. It's looking good. She's scoring the ball really well. She's driving it. Getting to the foul line is something that she's working on, and rebounding is something else that she's been doing really well.
Folks on the phone, just to clarify real quick, that last question was about Kayla McBride, a sophomore guard from Notre Dame.
Coach, you're going to be facing a team that's only averaging 41 points per game on defense, and you've just been scoring 90 to 120 points these past few games. How do you refocus your team to get ready for a defense like that?
Well, I think we try to make practice harder than the games, and we really try to compete and challenge each other at practice, which we've done a pretty good job of this year. And it's actually been great not having the guys around, because we're forced to play against each other, and the competition has really been kind of fun to watch. So I think we're going into the game like we go into every game. We try to play every possession like it's the most important one of the game, and not to get careless and look at the score. So I think in that way, I think we'll be prepared. Certainly the best team we've faced since Baylor, and it's going to be a challenge for our offense.
Speaking of Baylor, it seems like UConn has a slight height advantage on you, just like Baylor did. Do you prepare for that in a certain way?
They do have a size advantage, and Stephanie Dolson in particular, just such a great player on the block. I mean, she's big, she's strong, she's physical. She's really, really difficult for us to guard, and you complement that with all the 3-point shooters that they have. They make them really a tough team to defend.
This is the matchup that fans look forward to all year. Do you think the players themselves look forward to this matchup?
I think they do. I think they would rather play in a game like this than to play a game where the starters only get to play half the game. I think when you're a player at this level and you have a competitive part of you that wants to be great, you got to play really good teams in order to be good. So that's what they're looking forward to. I think the challenge of a really exciting game.
Do we have any other questions for folks here? Ryan?
Mosqueda Lewis, how she comes off the bench and the spark she provides for that team.
Really changes their team when she comes in the game. She is somebody that is really confident for a freshman. Shoots the ball extremely well, can score in a lot of different ways, but a 3-point shooter extraordinaire, really. She is really shooting it well from there, and to be the leading scorer coming off the bench, I think gives them a big lift. Usually when you go to your bench, you might expect to go down a little bit, but they actually get better. So I think she's provided just a really great lift for their team.
Any other questions here in person?
Yeah, what have you learned since the Baylor game that you can apply to the number 2 ranked team in the country now?
You know, they're different teams, but I think we were disappointed in the way we played against Baylor. I thought they played very well defensively. Brittany Griner, you know, she's makes you change your game, and I think we missed a lot of shots that normally we could make. And I think we changed how we played. We pressed a little bit in terms of trying too hard. I think to make things work. So I think now we've played a number of top 25 teams, you know, and we're starting to play better. So I think that confidence-wise, that's where we're hoping to have learned that we can just come out and just forget the last play and move on to the next one.
Talk about the importance of this game being for the Big East Championship.
Well, the fact that we get to play them twice, I think it puts a little less emphasis on this game. I think for us, this is a game we look at and say, how far do we have to go to be ready for March? What do we need to improve on? I think you don't learn as much about your team when you win a game by 30 or 40 points. So you want to play a good team so that you can see what your strengths and weaknesses really are. So I think for us it's just a measuring stick. It's still early in January. We've got a long way to go to end the season, and we want to keep improving. So this is really a game just to see. This is where we are right now. It's not going to mean a lot in terms of where we're going to be in the postseason.
Anything else here in person? All right, let's open it up for questions on the phone. Let's take them one at a time, and please, if you wouldn't mind, identify yourself before you ask the question. Let's go ahead.
Yes, Jim Fuller from the New York Register. Can you just talk about the depth of the team compared to last year? How many more bodies you had to throw out there and how it impacts your game plan?
You know, I think we're playing, last year we played 7 and this year we're playing 8. The question was about our depth and how this year we seem to be a little bit deeper. You know, I think Kayla McBride gives us definitely a better backcourt. I think that having her in the starting lineup is something that really has helped our game. Kayla Turner coming off the bench as she did last year. Natalie Chanwell coming off the bench is an excellent player. She's given us a lot. Great minutes, just doing a lot of good things both ends of the floor. And Frederica Miller is our defensive stopper who comes in and can change the game with her energy. So really, if you look at our team versus last year, we've inserted Kayla McBride for Becca, and basically we're playing about the same team.
Any other follow-ups, Jim?
Muffet, this is Rich Elliott from the Connecticut Post. Did you expect Kayla McBride to have this kind of an impact?
You know, I did, actually. Last year, you know, she started out well. I thought she had a lot of great moments early in the season. She practiced with us later in the year and really, really played well. She was always the other team's best player. So she got to really work on her game constantly, worked on her offense in particular, and was able to simulate what we were going to see on different opponents. So I think she had a great summer, came back, and you always wonder, you know, a player come back, hadn't played in a while. And it took her a few games, I think, to kind of get the rust out. But now I think she's really where she needs to be.
Other questions on the phone?
Well, yeah, this is Jim Fuller. Can you just talk about Bria Hartley? And she seems to have the ability when UConn needs her to step up and play big on the biggest stage. What do you like the most about her game?
You know, I think she really has stepped up. I feel like she's one that has taken a little more responsibility this year with the loss of Maya Moore. I think that she's got great speed. She can handle the ball and run the break. I think she's leading the team. She's taking control and managing the game at the point. She could score last year too, but I think just maturity-wise, I think she's playing a little bit older. You know, I think she's got a little more experience now, and she's really, really playing well.
Muffet, this is Rich Elliott again. With the loss of Moore, they have many more options offensively now. In a way, do you think they're a more dangerous team this year?
You know, I think they can be. I think when your team isn't focused on, we've got to find more, you know, in transition, where's Maya? And she could do so many things. She could post you up. She could score from anywhere. And, you know, as you saw her go on that 16-0 run on us last year, or not 16-0, but 16 points in a row. You know, I think that everybody was so worried about where she was that maybe you forgot about where everybody else was. So this year now, I think it's kind of an equal opportunity offense, and you've really got to worry about everybody on the team. So you can't you can't just worry about one person.
Roger Cleveland from the Waterbury Republican American. Can you just talk about Natalie and the way she's played this year, as well as the overall offensive balance that you guys have?
Natalie Novosel having another great year. I mean, she came on last year as our leading scorer, had a fantastic season, most improved player in the Big East. I was so happy for her and what she was able to accomplish. She wants to continue to grow as a player and get better. She's doing that now. She's shooting the ball really well. She's scoring in so many different ways. She really is a difficult player to guard, and I think that she's somebody that you look at, and I'm not sure if she's getting the respect because Skylar probably gets the lion's share of the scouting report. But I think that Natalie is definitely our leading scorer and somebody that we like to give the ball to in pressure situations. She's somebody we want the ball in her hands a lot.
But this is Sam Hayes, ESPN. What's the process been over the past year or two, kind of watching Deborah Peters regain her full game, or full health, I guess? Kind of what does she allow you guys to do on the offensive end and defensive end?
Dev is that player that every good team has. You know, every top 25 team has a player like her that can just go get a rebound. She is an incredible athlete who is gifted with just great skill. She jumps really well. She's got tremendous hands, quick feet. She runs the floor, so she's hard to guard for the other team. She puts pressure on the defense to get back. She can block shots. She can defend on the perimeter. She can make the 15-foot jumper. She's a good free throw shooter. The way she's playing right now, she's not looking to score a lot from the perimeter, but she certainly can. And she is definitely somebody that changes the game for us. When she's in the game, we are a much different team, a much better team.
With Roger Cleveland again, can you just talk about your offensive balance and how much pressure that puts on teams because you can just continue to score in so many different ways?
We've had a lot of different people lead the team in scoring, and I think 5 or 6 different people, have done that for us this year. We've gotten people off the bench with double figures. Our starters, really, they're incredibly unselfish, not unlike UConn, really. I think we're very similar teams in that way offensively. We share the ball really well. Take joy in getting assists as much as making a basket. I think we're always looking for the next player who's more open than we are. And I think that does make you really hard to guard.